So poops, do you believe in the supernatural? Cause it's a little creepy, but basically a past building burnt down, yet a painting of Tok Guru Nik Aziz remained. So poops, if you don't know who Tok Guru Nik Aziz was, he was the 14th Menteri Besar of Kelantan and the Mursyidul Am or spiritual leader of PAS. Now whoa. I know some of you out there are immediately going out there, preparing your flaming arrows, setting them alight, hoping to destroy every single bit of PAS. But it might interest you to know that although this guy was a part of PAS, he was actually one of the most loved politicians in Malaysia. Although he was part of PAS, he wore old clothes, lived in a wooden house, drove old cars, refused to even have the fancy vehicle that was promised to him. And even right now and today, if you ask people about PAS many years ago during the time of Nik Aziz, they will remember him as a nice, kind, decent man who literally built bridges across races, partner with different coalitions, and just generally be a positive force in our world today. Completely different from the racism and fitna machine that PAS is in the modern age. And really, in a very real sense, he was loved by everyone around him, regardless of race and religion, except, it seems, by a couple of them led by a certain familiar name, Hadi Awang. This wasn't always obvious, but when Tok Guru Nik Aziz died in 2015, everything became a lot clearer. The PAS started swinging all the way to the right, and now we have this little fancy collection of Reddit posts here, there, and everywhere, showcasing people going out trying to act supreme, we are the best nega chail chalaka. And along the way, TGNA's legacy and power were being sidelined. Even as TGNA's family got sidelined, their influence just kind of blocked along the way. Nik Aziz's son, Nik Omar, was supposed to become a PAS candidate, but then that hardline PAS rhetoric started catching fire. And without Nik Aziz's calming influence, Hadi Awang could pretty much just drive the party in the direction that he wanted, and continues to do so even as he tries to be the president for life and throws away all of that inclusivity, that getting together, that whole living without fitna that seems so far away and long ago and no longer part of any part of the Malaysian political discourse. And so here we are today with the fire in Pengkalan Chepa and TGNA's picture just nicely preserved, smiling from the deep beyond, reminding us all of TGNA's legacy for kindness, compassion, a much more human past from ages ago. And you know, it's funny because there are even commenters on Utusan right now that if it were a picture of Hadi Awang, then it definitely would have burned because hashtag divine justice. Don't know if that's gonna be a thing, but all I can say is it's very symbolic. You know, I was just watching Matilda yesterday, and towards the end of the movie, when Matilda decides to get one back on Miss Trunchbull, she takes the portrait of Miss Honey's father, Magnus, and kind of displays it right in front of Miss Trunchbull as the woman stares and remembers everything that happened, and the fact that justice sometimes speaks out from beyond the grave before eventually she yeets out of town. Can't say I know exactly why the portrait was not burned or what the symbolism actually is, but if I were to guess, it's kind of like a reminder that there was a time when PAS was actually a positive contributor to Malaysia's political scene, where you didn't have all of these crazy racist fitnas going out day after day trying to split Malaysia as a country just cause it seemed convenient, didn't talk up nonsense about Christmas, sigil halal, alcohol, and wasn't so obsessed with race and religion to the point that it shuts out any possibility of any intelligent discussion anywhere else in this world. I don't know if that PAS is going to come back. Maybe a little more of it has come back recently because they've started to taste that beautiful Chinese money. That's why they have some respect. But well, when they think back on that fire and they think about the portrait that was left behind, I hope it's going to haunt them in some way, shape or form. I don't know how it will, but however it does, I hope it's going to be for the better. But what do you think, Sapoops? How do you feel about Tok Guru Nik Aziz's portrait? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. That's all to say about that, and bye.